So this case was donated, so I thought it was quite cool. Um, let's go here. So this one is an X-ray of an ankle. And again, like I always say, always draw around, always draw around, always draw around. Let's make sure you draw around everything. Talar dome, you can often get osteochondral defects, normally in the supramedial aspect, because that's a lot where the weight bearing happens. I do look at the base of fifth to make sure there's no abnormalities there, and then look at the metatarsals as well. Everything looks okay here, but when you come up to the distal fibula, you see that kind of haziness there. Let's zoom in. Can you see that haziness? Look, it looks very, very well defined, very well defined, very well defined. And then you got this haziness there, and then you got like a normal, well defined. So when you kind of got that haziness, then you got to go with this possibly being, yeah, sort of a healing process. And because it's not like a clear sort of like fracture, you got to start worrying that this could be an underlying stress fracture. And that's actually where the MRI scan can be quite useful. I thought I did have an MRI scan. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Oh, here we go. So let's have a look. So these are the fluid sensitive sequences. And let's go from the top. So you can see there's lots of edema. So this is fluid. Yeah, so it's going to be bright. And there's lots of edema within the bone marrow. But can you see that sort of thickening around it, almost circumferential thickening? That's the extracortication. And then why does that keep coming up? And then keep coming down. And then you can't really see any linear fractures per se. I'm going to just move that out of the way now. And then the rest of it looks okay. So then if we go to the T1 weighted images, I think T1 is actually really good for these. And potentially if we get a coronal, yeah, there we go. Let's have a look. It's around here. That's where all the action's happening around there, doesn't it? So let's have a look at coronal here. Let's see. There you go. Can you see that? That. So when you got this sort of ill-defined, well, on an X-ray, if you can't see a potential fracture, but you get that sort of fuzziness on any sort of long bone, then you got to go for where this could be stress fracture. And with this one in particular, because it's not a well-defined, looks slightly hazy, there's a lot of sort of peripheral edema around it. Again, you'd be going down along the lines of this being a stress fracture. And that's actually fairly common to get stress fractures there, but you can get stress fractures in your toes as well. Question come up. You sound British. Have you sat FRCR2A? And if so, any tips? Okay, I'll do that at the end. Fine. So yeah, so I think we have gone through all the cases. So I'm happy to take any questions. And as always, I really do appreciate so many people turning up live and all the people that do sign up and watch us later on YouTube and interact with me on Twitter and all that kind of thing. I'm very passionate about teaching, so do give feedback. I think Becky's going to put a feedback thing on there for us. I will be back hopefully next month. Like I said, my daughter's not particularly well, so I would appreciate any prayers and positive thoughts and that kind of thing for her if possible. Someone has asked something quite specific, so I'm going to answer that. I sound British. Yeah, that's true. I am from the UK, but family from Bangladesh. I have set the FRCR 2A. The big trick is to try and do lots of past paper questions because most of the time, what you find is that people will sit exams, and if they fail the exams, they assume they're a bad radiologist. But in reality, failing exams have got nothing to do with how good of a radiologist you are, because you'll see bad radiologists get through the exams. Because if you want to see whether someone's a good radiologist, you look at the work that they do. You look at how they get along with their work. Are they making misses at work and stuff like that? But with 2As, the very sort of focal questions about very minutiae. So all you have to do is focus on that. It's not about radiology per se, it's about playing the game. So there is a book by a guy called Prometheus Linehart, which I think he opened my mind to that idea that it's all a bit of a game. And in the back in particular, he's got this thing where it's like, if this, then that. So the point is that if they use this phrase, then it has to be this problem. If they use this phrase, then it has to be this problem. So try and do that. Try and get into the idea about looking for potential phrases that will make you think it's this, right? That's the key. It's not about being good or bad. It's just about being able to answer questions in a particular format. So best of luck with that. And yeah, you're welcome. And I guess I'll see you on the next thing. And I'll hand over back to Becky. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. Bye.